when I saw the other day something happening where I could see the thoughts saying something about about me, like something happened where like I felt inadequate and I felt like, God, why did I do that? Like, and even though I had the glimpse and I could see through Fetter One, I could automatically see that, oh, those thoughts are saying that, but there's still something here that needs to be felt through. Because I can go around in circles and just remember that, oh, that's just a story. I don't need to believe that thought. But I'm noticing more that I am bypassing the the sensation part of like, oh, what is it? Where is it? It's in my chest and it feels tight. And so my point of that was that even though I know it's all a story and I can notice that it's a story, sometimes I still get caught in the story because I think it's because the emotion is of inadequacy is still there, like that wound is still there somewhere. And and it feels like, yeah, like you said in the beginning, Pernell, like those are just thoughts. They're just thoughts, but really it's like those just thoughts there's so much meaning seeped into those thoughts. There's so much like this is what it means. This is how I've navigated my life since I was a baby. Like this is how I figured out how to be a human in this world by putting meaning on things and so when you say like even I kind of get the sense when you with the six fetter stuff where like, oh, I'm putting meaning on that. That's a tree. Like that's the meaning that of course that's a tree. That's what I learned. That's what it's named. And I know all of the function of the tree. And I know what kind of tree it is, the color of the leaves on it. Anyways, so even that is a meaning that I'm placing on it. Um, so just like the thoughts, they come with so much meaning.
But that is why we put so much emphasis in the second fetter about fear, anger, guilt, and shame, because you cannot rock that boat until the boat you're sitting and talking about, until you completely have your back and even
Yeah.
have a position to say, I know that is a tree, and then question, how do you know this is a tree? Well, I know because it looks like a tree, yes, but how do you know it's a tree? If you do not draw on experience, if you not draw on anything that you have ever been taught, how do you know that is a tree? And we know by history, we are taught lots of things that are not right. We are taught that we are, like Don has been taught, that he's in the way and he's always wrong. We've been taught that we are shameful for being this and that. We are taught that we are right because we are, and the others, they are the wrong ones. We've been taught so many things that are absolutely not true. And we work with the second fetter so we can release all of those beliefs because none of them are true. None of them are true. The only thing that we know for absolute certainty is that we do not know anything. Whatever we believe we know is just a belief. And we need to
Okay.
let go of all of that, even
So
certainty that this is a tree.
yes, okay. Like I need to feel safe enough here first to get lost in the mystery of that
Yes,
fucking like
yes,
not knowing even that. Okay, I get that. So
yes.
I need to so then like I text you the other day because something happened with my husband where like and now it's like I can't even remember really, but I think it's still this thing where like when I was noticing that I'm afraid to ask for what I want because sometimes when I ask for what I want, I'm perceiving that he's looking at me like, are you fucking stupid? Or like, what, like in disgust, like he's disgusted by my request. Like I'm afraid to ask him something because I perceive his response as, you're fucking disgusting for asking me. Like you're so annoying. You're so stupid. How could you even ask me? So when I'm staying with the sensation of what's happening, because I do have to walk away from him to stay with that sensation and to look at like, oh, where is it? The feeling, it's it feels tight. Oh, my throat. And then it's like, it's also the image of his face
Mm.
looking at me like, like so annoyed by me. So it's almost like I know the thoughts, but like my body still is believing that. The body is still in a like, that's
Yeah.
what,
Yes. Yes. The 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 end goal, I want to start at the other end. The end goal is to be in a life where you set everyone free to look how they look, to say what they say, and they are absolutely free. He's even allowed to say with words, "You're fucking disgusting. How
yeah,
stupid are you?" He's even allowed to do that. And you're setting
yes,
free. If you want to be with people that do that, that's a completely different business, not what we are talking about. I'm just saying that in a bracket for anybody that hears this recording afterwards. So the end goal, if we can have a goal, but understand what I mean, is to be in a life where we set everyone free to be who they are, and we
right.
set ourselves free to have every single reaction that we do. So
Okay.
when you have a contraction in the chest going like, oh, I can hardly breathe, then there's an adult Jahira standing right behind you going like, breathe, my love. It's fine. I got your back. You're 7 years old. It's just an old memory. Breathe. I'm right here with you. No matter what other people say about you, you're wonderful. You're gorgeous. Everything is fine. It's about healing yourself into being the adult in the room. So you're not 7 years old and you're not reacting based on whatever trauma happened when you were a kid, but you're acting like an adult. And not just like we talked with Phoebe about, as an adult, we have clear boundaries. Somebody can say, you're fucking disgusting. You can go like, okay, I do not prefer you talking to me like that. I would
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you to speak to me with respect. But that can only happen when you're absolutely certain that that is what is said, because we have experienced multiple times that people, they hear something, they have a reaction to what we have talked about, and they write to us and going like, when you said that, it really, really hurt me. And we look at one another going like, what? Then they listen to the recording afterwards and get back to us going like, oh, you didn't say that. I thought you said that. Because
yes,
and most times we're in our own little bubble and we do not hear what is said. We hear what we expect that there is said.
yeah,
That was a lot of things in one sentence.
yeah. But it's only with my husband. Like there is no fear of rejection, or because it's only with him that I know that it's still my bubble. I
Yeah.
I I, I know. I'm not in any way trying to change him, but I think that was part of my question when I texted you the other day, because it's like, but still, like, how does that work in partnership? And it's like, well, there is no partnership. Like, it's here, and once I can like be my own parent, then I can clearly, if it needs to be said, I can clearly say to him like, wow, like the way you said that just now, something happened, instead of it being like, oh, like,
Yeah. Taking it inward as if there's something wrong with you.
yeah, yeah,
And
right,
he's allowed to have a face.
yes,
And he's allowed to roll his eyes and he's allowed to do all that. He can do all he wants.
totally. I don't need to.
He can be
Yeah,
an jerk
I
and
got it.
oh, absolutely fine.
I got
Your job is to know your boundaries. How how much is okay with you.
Right. But when I'm in it and I am that shameful little girl,
When you're
then
seven,
I don't know.
no, when you're
Yeah.
7 years old, it's not a job for a 7-year old to deal
Yeah.
with. And that therefore you're doing the right thing about withdrawing
Yeah.
and getting in contact with the adult Jahara, 2024 Jahara, that can say, okay, sweetheart, I'm right here. I
Yeah.
felt
Okay.
hurt you were. Just breathe. Everything is fine. You're fine. So,
Yeah.
so give that part of you reassurance.
Okay. Um, yeah, I just loved what Phoebe said in the beginning because, and it made me cry because I think that I remember having that experience like her where one day I woke up and I was just being moved to do things and I wasn't choosing it. And I was like, oh, this is next. Oh, I was just like going along with the whatever the body was doing. Like there was no like, oh, I got to do this next or I got to make sure I do this. It was just like, it was such a beautiful, like, it's such a,
Yes.
it was just such a relief and like so peaceful that sometimes I do have that, like, oh, I want that back, like that was so beautiful. Like when she was explaining it, I was crying because I remember, like, oh, yes, the simplicity. It was so simple. Like, and even like then when she said that the guy said something to her and then she had this moment, like when I first had the glimpse, it was like, it's like when you're in that place, it's like you can just say to him, like you can just say to him, "Oh, like
Yeah.
please don't call me gorgeous." But for some reason, it feels like for Phoebe, it's like, but no, I can't say that to him. Like, oh God, no, and no, he shouldn't be saying that to me. That is inappropriate, but I can't tell him that. But like there's still like some
But
beliefs in there, right?
yeah, and it is about getting back to that 9 fetter flow where we are just moving with whatever is alive, and we're not 7 fetter creating something out of nothing. We're just moving with what is. And if your husband says something that really really makes you hurt, you can say that really hurt me when you said that. You can say that without any demand for him to not say it or apologize or anything. You can just be honest in that moment and go like, that really hurt me.
Yeah, I can't, but I can't do that because that feels also like bypassing because then he's going to come and say, I'm so sorry. Like, I shouldn't have done that. It's going to try to make me feel better instead of me like processing
But
that.
Jahara, did you have that as a child? Did you have that it was possible for you to say, that really hurt me? And an adult came over and put their arms around you and kissed you and said, it's fine. I love you. I'm so sorry that I hurt you. Did you ever have that? Because if you didn't, then it's about time.
And it's okay if he gives it to me, you mean?
I mean,
Instead of me not?
if he says something that hurts you, and you say that really hurt me, that he goes like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you at all, and comes and give you a hug and say and apologize for what he said because he didn't mean to hurt you. That is normal exchange. If I say something and I hurt you, and you come to me and say, you really hurt me when you said that. We actually had that, you and I, in the beginning, remember, where I said that no matter what you do with your children, they will end up in therapy. Remember?
Yep, yep. But
And,
you thought
and
you hurt me, but you didn't.
no,
You
yeah,
said you said I'm sorry if I seemed da 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 da, and I was like, not at all. Like,
no, exactly. So that is the relationship. If you have a relationship where you can tell me that really hurt me, or I can say to you, I'm sorry if I hurt you, that is an open adult relationship where you can say, no, that was fine, and I'm going like, okay, that's good. That is an open adult relationship where
yeah.
I make sure that you're fine and I'm not doing anything to hurt you, and you making sure that you're fine and not doing anything to hurt me. That is an adult relationship. We don't have that maturity as children. So if we haven't as children experienced that we were sad, something was said, and we really got hurt, and we could go to an adult that could be the parental guidance and could take us up on our lap, on their lap, and kiss us and reassure us, then we need to experience that as an adult. And sometimes that can be received by another person. You can receive that by another person. I'm experiencing that all the time with Todd.
You do that together?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, because I mean, maybe I'm trying to translate it as, oh, you must not even ever say anything to him because you're like, it's your bubble. So why would you say something to him?
It is my bubble, but I still might need a hug.
We're still very openly.
It's even though that he has not done anything, I might still need a hug. I might still need, reassurance and him kissing me and saying everything is fine, even though he hasn't done anything. I might need that. And of course I can give it to myself. I've done that my entire life. Now I have an add-on.
Doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's hard for me because then I'm thinking that Todd will say, but that's your shit. You know what I mean? Like, deal with your shit. But that's what I think what my question was in partnership with this. Because it's like he's still your partner, even though you're in your own bubble.
It's a supporting, loving partnership. It's where it's not like you got your own shit, deal with it, woman. It's like
I feel like that's how I am.
That's the thing, is we're in it together. It's like a joint partnership where I have my shit, she has her shit, and we work on it together. We help each other. So if something comes up and I feel something, she's there and giving a supportive, safe space. And if I need a hug, I get a hug. If she needs a hug, she gets a hug. Like it doesn't have to be this.
It's not me sorting out my shit in solitude without Todd. And then, by the way, we're married.
Yeah, that's how I was trying to do it.
Yeah, it's me sorting out my shit, knowing that it's my shit, but I have my best friend with me to talk to, that I can say, okay, this is coming up in me right now. He can hold space for me, listen to me, come with different angles in it, help me do inquiries about it, and if I need a hug, I get a hug.
Yeah, but he's awake though. My husband's not. So now instead of when I say like that hurt me, he's gonna try to convince me.
You can say
why.
You can say, when you did that with your face, that really, really hurt me. Could you just give me a hug? You don't have to say anything. You don't need to reassure me. Everything is fine. I know. Just give me a hug.
Okay.
You can. You don't have to.
Yeah, no, it is safe to do that with him. He's not awake, but he's conscious,
That's good.
Okay.
So you can, if he's on board with that, you can even tell him that I'm working with this 7-year-old shit that I'm dealing with. And whenever you say anything, I'm projecting my dad onto you. You don't need to do anything but just be you, because by being you, I know you're not my dad. I know I'm not 7 years old. I know that we are two adults and you're just holding space for me. If he's, conscious, then he would hold space for you.
Okay. It's that dad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And just because you were a little trooper when you were 7 years old and you sorted out everything on your own, it does not mean that you have to do that still. If you are in a loving relationship where your husband have your back, then you can lean on him. You do not need to be alone. It is your shit to sort out. It's not for him to sort out for you. But he can hold space, and he can give you a hug, and he can give you a reassurance as an adult in 2024.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
May I ask you what happened?
No, there's still like a tightness in my throat, but what happened? You mean like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like what happened just when?
Just now.
No, when you said, "Are you okay?" It was just like there's still some tightness in my
Yeah. Lungs is sadness.
Yeah, it's okay. There's still like it's coming. I notice where the sensations are in my body.
Yeah.
And I'm okay.
You're such a little trooper. Sometimes it's really good to just, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, I got a feeling it's gonna explode at the retreat, bro. It's gonna come. There's something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. We're here.
Because even just with the talking, it comes up. So I can imagine like the actual embodiment exercises. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really, really good. Really, really good.
Okay, thank you.
You're very quick with getting us out of the way.
I don't want to take up any more time.
It's a theme of the day, isn't it?
It really is.
I think it's contagious.
I just love the other people here and I want them to talk too, So I just feel like, okay, I'm gonna mute myself and process this.
While you're processing, I had one other quick little pointer that I just wanted to give, that something that you said earlier when you were saying about Phoebe, kind of being jealous, or remembering what it was like to just be kind of moving without the feeling of being, of moving.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, just a quick little inquiry thing while you are going about your day. If you feel like you are doing something where you don't have that kind of flow, you don't have that feeling of just things are just happening, notice what is actually happening in that moment. Are you feeling contractions in the body that are some sort of resistance to doing what you're doing? Are there thoughts that are coming up about, now I have to do this and now I have to do that, and there's a reason for it? Just be aware of what is getting in the way between having where you are and that experience that you were talking about. Because the only things that are there are some sort of thought about how things should be done a certain way or should be done differently, and a felt resistance in the body to something that's happening in this moment. So just being aware of that and see if you can address them as we've been doing.
Yeah, I do notice that, like I because I'm a stay-at-home mom, it's like I'm not allowed to just sit down sometimes, like I notice that, like, oh, I should be doing this and I need to do this. Like, it's like my worth is dependent on my role. I need to fulfill this role as a stay-at-home mom and wife. Like I want to be a good wife and mostly a good wife. Like my husband works and I stay home. So like I gotta make dinner and I gotta make sure it's okay. And like I do notice that, like, wow, like I don't even let myself just sit down. Like sometimes I just want to sit down and like just
Yeah.
feel the sensations, you know, like I'm pulled to just sit down and like sit and quietly. And but like it's like I notice the thoughts that say, no, 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 there's no time for that. And even when I do sit down, like, no, 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 there's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but also the funny part is, what is it that makes you believe that you not sitting down and breathing makes you into a better wife? You're a better wife if you're not sitting down and breathing. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. You're a much better Jahira when you are present in the moment. When you're not, you know, hanging your worth up on dinner being ready at the right time. That has nothing to do with your worth. That's about dinner. And dinner can only be ready at the time dinner is ready at.
And even within the little smaller micro events of making dinner and all of that, notice every step along the way where the resistance is, where the thoughts are coming up saying it needs to be done at a certain time and I should be doing it differently, and I should actually be also doing laundry, and I should really be
but also doing dinner in a certain way. Why is it that you cannot make dinner fully present and aware in that open space that Phoebe was talking about? Of course you are.
Yeah, and I noticed lately, like it's like I'm not suffering the way I used to, but the thoughts still, not to the extent where it's making me suffer, but to the extent where I'm still believing them, you know, and being, you know, they're like I'm believing that what they're saying is true and that I have to do it like this.
But also that you're back into how it used to be with you, Jahara being better when she's really pulling herself together and actually not being Jahara. Then she's so much better. Remember the talk we had 5,000 years ago regarding your dad and pulling yourself together and not being authentically you? There's a hint of that again. You know, there's a hint of that. Instead of you knowing that the more you're present in the moment, the more true you are to you and the better you are as a mom, as a wife, as a human being, as a neighbor, as a American, as, you know, everything. You're such a better version of you when you're present in the moment, and there's not all the hooks in you being something else than what you actually are.
Yeah. And but that requires slowing down enough.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And very often we can slow down without being late with dinner and late with the things that, because it's just the thoughts that are changing. Instead of having the thought 10 minutes ahead of yourself, you have your thoughts here. It's the only difference.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep noticing that.
excellent.
Thank you.